Hello, this is Blanket Statements, an Anxiety Blanket Records podcast where artists have a chance to interview each other. It's an opportunity for them to talk all things independent music and find connection in new places. This episode, Gregorio talks with Derek Ted about recording, pulling from personal experiences versus story, and a ton of shout-outs you simply do not want to miss. Here we go.
Cool.
Rocking and rolling.
Are we ready?
I think so. Derek, how's your week?
Dude, it's been weird but good.
Yeah? Love weird but good weeks.
Yeah, how about you?
It's been pretty weird but good.
Yeah,
you first. What did you do this week?
I've been in complete isolation. Been mixing like 3 different albums for people. Cool. And mine at the same time.
Whoa.
And just kind of like posted up in the stew. I went on a couple bike rides, but kind of just been grinding and kind of perpetually ruining my own sleep schedule.
Love it.
I just keep staying up later and later and sleeping in later and later, but trying to go back to a normal vibe.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Sounds very monastic. How are you, do you ever get time for yourself? How do you decompress?
I don't know. It's hard to know what time, like what is for me and what isn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm finding the time to like decompress, but it's definitely confusing sometimes where I'm like, this is so fun, everything is like, this is what I want to be doing, and then I'm like, what do like normal people do?
Yeah.
Like in between work and like, or like work, when work is music, it's like, where is the separation to do like nothing or like normal quote unquote stuff, like go relax somewhere, like go to the park or do something, you know?
For sure. Especially when you have, I think, like so many creative components kind of bouncing in your mind.
Totally.
Like I feel like at any given moment, if I'm kind of recording a batch of songs, I'm thinking about one aspect of them at any given time.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm like,
just
fuck, that like backup vocal is like too low by like 1 dB and I like can't do anything about it until I just like fix it.
Yeah.
But I'm like thinking about it at all times.
Yeah, exactly. And then I realize I've been staring at the corner for like 15 minutes just thinking about that one.
Yeah.
How do you okay, so like when you're like kind of in a deep kind of recording cadence, do you find yourself listening to music kind of outside of that?
No.
Yeah.
I feel like I try to remember like the whole point of like everything is like, yeah, I need like, okay, I'm gonna like enjoyably like listen to something just for fun, you know, and like I try to, but sometimes I'll put on like classical or like something to like refresh.
Oh yeah.
To kind of just cleanse the palate, but I often realize I just don't listen to anything that I'm not working on, which is kind of like, it's kind of strange at points where like, yeah, it's hard to find the balance of kind of remembering to be a human and like who you're making this for is like other humans, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you can be very lost at sea with the feeling. I totally relate. So how long do you think it takes you to kind of like, I guess, conceptualize a song, and then when you like are done mixing it, like you're like, cool, this is finished?
I don't know. Sometimes it takes like one go. Sometimes it's like rewrite, kind of reshuffle. And then, or sometimes it's like it's not right, reshuffle, rewrite, do what you need to do. And then you're like, okay, I think it's lit now. And then you listen to the OG and you're like, no, that was it. There was something there, even if it wasn't perfect, that was like captured. So it's kind of hard to know.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think so too. Honestly, like I kind of have to stop myself from pre-purring something right after I record it. Like I almost want to rather like sit on it for a while and let it just like gestate for a little bit before I kind of take it in. Like I try a lot of times to like stitch things together rather than try to bang it out in one go, if that makes sense. Yeah, it kind of gives it a little bit more of a three-dimensional vibe for me.
Yeah, and you got to get that perspective. I feel like sometimes you create something and you're like, holy shit, this was the greatest thing I've ever made. Yeah. Blah, blah. But then like it might have just been like a monumental moment of discovery, maybe emotionally, to like break through and like what you need. But then you realize like after you separate from it, you're like, okay, that was cool, but this isn't like a banger. It's just like a maybe emo like diary track or something, which like you got to feel like anything I feel like you're working on is like the greatest thing you've ever made, but then like take a step back and be like, okay, I can like see it for what it is.
Yeah, but that's like the point, right? It's like,
Yeah.
now I get to look at it and like get to like actually like evaluate that feeling or like whatever state of mind I was in, as opposed to it sort of like swirling nebulously inside of me until like it has to get out. You know? And
totally.
I feel like that's why you do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get it out, but it's hard to know sometimes. Like the discovery mode is like it hits so hard that you're like, whoa, this is crazy, and it kind of like overrides the reality of whatever you're making. Where it's like it's got to be important to like, or it's like important to like balance it out
for sure,
and to be like more objective about whatever you're making, to know if it's actually lit or if it's just like chiller.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Something for just you or something, you know.
It's like when I'm recording and like I'm hitting the G pen while I'm recording, and then I listen to it like the mix the next day, and you're like, whoa, this is washed out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much perpetually G penned out, so I feel like that's just my state of mind at all times. But I feel like it does, once it's like 4:30 in the morning and like my like 50th bong rip of the day, I'm like, I don't know what's real anymore. So it's like, that's kind of can be a dangerous area, but I feel like I've gotten kind of used to just like not moving anything too crazy in one sitting unless it's truly like supposed to be like completely revamped, you know. Not making too many crazy choices or like critical decisions where you're like, oh my god, wait, the vocal has to be like 10 dBs louder, that was the whole problem, and then you listen to it the next day and you're like, no, so wrong.
Watch that.
Yeah.
How do you like to kind of bring everything together, like by the time you record or when you're doing pre-pro, or do you want to kind of like lend some of it to spontaneity and like...
Spontaneity is key for me, where like sometimes I think like finding like a moment, like sometimes I'll be like demoing a song or just getting the first iteration of how it is down, and I'll sing the song one time, and then like that's the vocal take for the song. It was like that moment where like I sat there writing it or whatever. I'll try to redo it, and usually like the double, you gotta try, you know, you can't not try, but like it's like those end up becoming like the double or triple or whatever that's like pulled behind the main one, and that main one was like the one where I was like, I guess this is chill, I don't know. Sometimes there's something in the like uncertainty that I feel like lends itself to just real connection and like feeling the right feeling. But that being said, I feel like it's also important to be like, that's not good enough, and do it again if it's truly not lit, you know.
I admire that a lot. I kind of lean in the totally opposite direction. If left to my own devices, I'll do like 70 takes, and so I have to stop myself. It is. And so like I think that it helps me to kind of like set a limit, or even just like encourage myself to bring a lot more, like when I'm recording, if I'm recording outside of like my bedroom, basically.
Totally.
You know, and I'll kind of lend that to be a little bit more spontaneous than if I'm recording by myself. I think with myself, I kind of like will definitely kind of take that cue and record really late into the night. I feel like is when I'm always more
I'm a gremlin. Yeah. I go full gremlin mode, but it doesn't lend itself to being like a functioning part of society. But I do like the stillness of everyone being asleep and no one texting. I feel like that's when I pull my most energy. I'm like most like in it, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, you can excavate a little bit more of yourself.
Like yeah, totally.
Quiet. What's your favorite midnight snack?
Ooh, midnight snack. I don't know. I've been off this like weird like, so lately I've been like making dinner at like midnight or like 1 in the morning almost.
Yeah. Whoa.
So like, I don't know. Usually, like, I've been working with this person that got this food delivered to the studio called Huel. That's like this weird space, like microwave food.
Whoa.
And so I've been like eating that lately. It's been like a really weird thing, but that's like not my favorite. That's like pure sustainability.
Yeah.
But probably just like some candy.
Wait, tell me more about Huel. So
it's weird.
Prepackaged meals?
Yeah. No, it's like this, like, it's like a bag of like pasta or like curry. It's like dried, and you put water in it and microwave it, and it's got like all the nutritional like value you need in food.
That's what's up.
It's cool. It's definitely weird, and I was spooked out by it at first because I was like, it's kind of mid, but then like the fact you can make it in like a minute or two, and it's like you're like, okay, I'm full, and I like feel good after I eat it. It's kind of lit like that. I end up not eating.
I love that.
Sometimes.
That's efficient.
Yeah, it's efficient.
Yeah. Do you season it? Do you put like hot sauce? Or
I put sriracha on it.
There you go.
Yeah, it needs something.
Yeah.
But like, it's still kind of lit. I end up just having this thing where I just don't eat, where I'm like, I just forget, and then I'm like all of a sudden dying, and I have like 5 minutes before I just actually die.
Oh,
so
man.
like, it's been helpful for like being able to be a functioning human, you know.
Good. Shout out to Huel.
Yeah.
Shout
How
out
about
to
you?
Huel.
What's your favorite snack?
Man.
Also, you're a chef.
Yeah, I've been cooking a lot. I've been trying to. So one thing I've been really getting into is my fiance Kennedy and I make focaccias. Shout out Kennedy.
Hey.
But we have been cooking a lot, and we've been making focaccia.
Nice.
And I've been super stoked on that. She'll like decorate it, and we'll like get little stuff from the farmer's market, some leeks, some shallots and stuff, and cut up little shapes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds gourmet.
Yeah, it's been, dude.
That's like
it's
the opposite
so
of
easy.
Huel.
It's like a easy 3-hour bake.
Oh
and you're
my
chilling.
God.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's insane.
But honestly, like if I had to be real, my midnight snack is salami. I go ham on salami.
That's definitely one of those things you're just like, I'm just gonna eat one of these really quick.
Yeah.
And then you like reach in the fridge, and then like you're definitely baked, and then you eat like the whole thing, and then you're like, fuck, I guess I just ate a meal's worth of food, but it was just like some weird like easy grab, kind of like supposed to be a component of something, and now it's been your entire meal.
Yeah. No, I feel very Tuscan when I'm just eating in my boxers in my kitchen, some pieces of salami, making
That's
multiple
nice.
trips. Yeah.
I mean, at least it's not. I have a sweet tooth, so I end up eating like an entire like package of Sour Patch Kids or something, and then I'm like, this is straight up bad for me. This is like chemical.
Yeah,
like,
I can feel like my teeth melting when I eat them.
Yeah, my ADD is getting worse. All these weird like additive colors and shit, but
damn, does it hit?
It hits.
It hits.
It hits like nothing else.
Like if I'm not living for that sweet bite of Sour Patch Kids, what am I doing?
I know. Well, it's like the TikTok of food. Because it's like it's like stimulating, you know what I mean? You're like, oh yeah, it like wakes you up. Where it's like I feel like my brain is so oversaturated right now. I'm like constantly just trying to get like, I don't know, like refresh my stimulation, like my brain, where it kind of hits like that. That's why candy in the studio is kind of lit too.
I agree. You need a little munchie.
Yeah, it's that refresh.
For sure.
Like bubbly water, bong rip, candy. You can work for another like 5 hours. You're good.
That's it.
Yeah.
How do you curate your space, I guess, in your studio to be creative for yourself? Like do you just go in and kind of feel like start playing an instrument here and there, or do you kind of like hang out there kind of casually?
Oh, it's like my room.
Yeah.
It's like where I chill, essentially.
Yeah.
Where like I like to keep it somewhat clean though. Like I'm kind of a like feng shui. It has to be feeling vibed out. It's definitely like a personal space, but my creativity I feel like is very based on like having a good smell, a good vibe, good color, like something that kind of wakes you up, makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Also, jumping to, I know you work with John Joseph.
Yeah.
And he's got the final level stew. He's got the Charizard of stews.
Dude, it's
where
such
he is
a
like,
hot vibe.
He has like windows. I feel like one day I want to have a studio where I can just have like plants everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that my studio is missing, because it's like only has a couple windows. So it's like not sustainable, but
yeah. And I've really seen that like that vibe from him kind of grow. Like when I started recording with him back in, I think I met him in 2017, back when we recorded the Nebula Amigo stuff. And I think at the time he was recording in North Hollywood, kind of like in a back house.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, so just like the evolution of his vibe and him being able to incorporate all that personality, and I think it's just
so lit.
Yeah,
I love John.
Yeah.
He inspired me to be like, damn, I love plants. My final level stew, Charizard stew, would probably be like having weed growing in the studio.
There you go.
But that's kind of a hard vibe sometimes.
How's gardening going?
Dude, it's going great. The summer kind of came and killed off like a lot of stuff, but I've got some like giant weed plants right now that are getting ready for their final stage.
Nice.
But yeah, just been chilling in the garden. I got like the squirrels, and there's like a huge possum that lives in my garden that's my homie.
Oh.
That once got stuck in my studio. when I went away for a couple nights, and I didn't realize I had left like the door open the night before to air it out before I was gonna be gone, and there was just a full ass possum in the studio, and I had to like grab it and carry it out, and it was.
It was posted just making a track.
Yeah, it was just it was trying to finish its EP, but I had to cut the session short.
Time's up, dude. He's on the 75th take.
Yeah, he pooped under my drum set.
No.
It was kind of gnarly, but
oh man,
respect to the possum.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to possum.
Shout out to my homies.
How are you? Do you have cats?
Dude, yeah.
Dude,
I've got 2 kittens.
Oh.
And they're like a year old, June and Arlo, shout out. But yeah, I love them. They're really sweet. I just love animals, you know.
Yeah.
You have kitties too.
I do. I got 2 big girls, 7 years old. Oh. Nora and Ami. Shout out to Nora and Ami.
Hey.
Those are my daughters. Yeah. Cuddle puddle.
Oh, so sweet. Yeah. I met Nora when Kennedy and Sophie lived together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out. And also shout out to Banana.
Yeah. Shout out Young Man. Yeah. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Banana Frankenstein.
Well, so you've been recording with John. I listened to your last release, and it's got that signature John prod. I love it.
Yeah,
it sounds so good.
Thanks, dude.
But you've been working on new tracks.
I haven't, man. So I'm really stoked. Right now, I've kind of just been like setting a personal goal to record 15 songs. But I want to cut 9 of them for the LP, and so that's really what I've kind of just been like working on for the past few months. And it's been so easy to bring songs to John. Like he and I work really well together, and it's super like efficient too.
John is so lit.
Yeah, just. Dude's got a great ear, super cool vibe, and I think
totally.
Yeah, it's easy to kind of feel comfortable in there in that space. And for me, like my songwriting process is super kind of like because I like to kind of repackage things or stitch them together. Like I can almost like I'd rather do it like almost like a tinker toy, you know, and like bring a bunch of different things and just see what kind of fits in the studio and like use the studio for like that kind of experimentation.
That's cool.
Yeah.
John is such a music whiz too. I feel like you can be like, yo, I have this verse that's fire. Like, what should the chorus be? And I feel like he can kind of just be like, okay. And just like hop on like a 6-string bass or something hella random and just like conceptualize, like lay down the foundation in a cool way and like bring an idea to the table where you're like, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, I definitely like the way he kind of makes me look at the tunes that I write too.
Totally.
You know, it's really nice to kind of be able to bounce those ideas off of a collaborator, but also still kind of like, again, like looking at it in a 3-dimensional way.
Totally.
And like a lot of times, like when I bring them in, like they're almost always like acoustic demos. You know what I mean? Like I record super bare bones. Dude, I use like Logic 9 on a 2011 Mac.
Nice.
And, so I've been using the same drum samples for like 10 years.
I mean, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it just makes me feel a lot like more comfortable writing the song to like a drum beat and then like bringing it in and fleshing it out with other
drum beat is always so essential for me too.
Yeah.
Like you start with an idea and then you're like, okay, because I feel like every song kind of has a beat to it, like built in inherently.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you can just figure out what the beat is and then like play along to that, it sometimes helps like write the rest of the song or whatever.
Totally.
But
yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about, I don't know, like I'm playing a lot more with like program drums because I think in the past, like with this last release, I definitely was like I wanted like live drums, and I've been playing in bands like forever.
Yeah, I saw Levi played on your album.
Yeah, dude, shout out to Levi.
Yeah, shout
big
out.
Shredder, dude.
Yeah,
the homie. But
Levi fucking rips.
Yeah, and we're playing together. We're actually playing on this stage on the 14th together. Yeah, so I'm super stoked to see him. But I think with this like recent crop of songs, like I've kind of just been leaning more into, you know, playing with different drum beats and beat switches and stuff like that, because it's just something I haven't really ever done before. I'm so much more used to playing with live drums that, yeah, this is kind of a newer space for me to operate in.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like live drums, it's like going back and forth is like the key, because like live drums can be really hard, a big committing to, like, if you're like still figuring out the sauce for the song, because it's also like the foundation, but it's also like a commitment where you have to like think of the big picture and like all the fills and the moments that are needed in a production. Totally. Where like sometimes it's hard to have that right off the rip when you're like getting the song together.
Totally.
So it's cool to like really hash it out with like fake drums and then maybe do drums after, or like make a hybrid of both to make it hit like on that platinum level but still have the real feeling of like a person and like air and harmonic movement and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, that's so beautifully said.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I think drums are the most essential part. Like any kind of drummer, or sorry, any band is kind of made by its drummer, and especially like when you're playing with a drummer.
Totally.
Like, you know, I feel like when you're playing with like a drummer that hits, it just elevates everybody.
It's the foundation.
You know? Yeah.
Like any recording is going to be capped out by how good the drums sound.
Yeah.
Because if like the drums are all right and everything else sounds amazing, like the whole thing is going to sound like decent. But
sure.
it's like when the drums sound incredible, then the rest of the production can really shine and be elevated to that level.
Yeah.
But it's hard to know. It's definitely hard to know, like, because it's also like the foundation of a song. So when you're like starting to like lay down the drums, you're like, I hope this is the place for like that fill that I think needs to happen, or like a moment. I always end up having to like chop up drums later a little bit and kind of like repurpose them for like a moment or something that I discovered down the line of the production. But it's hard to know.
Yeah, I feel that. But that's the fun of it too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can totally even just take drums out of the song and it totally like reimagines it, right?
Yeah, totally.
So who are your favorite drummers? Or drummers that you really like?
Well, I don't know, like, I guess like in music, I don't really know that like many drummers. Like, I'm not really like a drummer, like notable person, but in LA for sure, Levi, he's a goat. I've been working a lot with Nate Litch, who is like Field Medics Live drummer, and a bunch of other people. He's been my on-call like speed dial drummer to come in the studio lately, and has been doing a bunch of stuff. And then the other drummer that I really like is Hans from Nashville. I don't remember his last name, but I've worked with him a bunch lately when he's from LA. But I feel like those are my three goats of the local homies that I see out here fucking slaying. How about you?
Dang, man, that's a sick lineup. Honestly, I got to get more hip to the local drummers, dude. I feel like there's so many dudes that just shred out here. And I'm like, I can't play drums for shit.
Yeah, drums are hard as
I would
fuck.
sell my soul to play drums.
Yeah.
So respect.
Be careful. Someone might hear you and come for your soul.
Hey, man, I'm open. DMs are open. No, but I'm just kidding. No, I think like for me, drums. Okay, I guess in terms of local drums, my homie Tom Kendall from Long Beach, Tom Kendall Hughes. Dude's an
Nice.
absolute
Wait, so you're
shredder.
from Long Beach?
I am from Long Beach.
Wow, that's lit. I didn't know.
Yeah, I was born in West LA, so I was born actually in Culver City where I live now, and then I
Whoa.
moved to Long Beach when I was 8, and I lived there for like 20 years, man, or more than that. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I love Long Beach. It's such a cool melting pot for music, and really
Totally.
like. I don't know how often you go down there, how many times you've been there, but it definitely is like there's almost always like a bar playing music. It's definitely always a hot little scene.
Snoop Dogg's from there.
Dude, yeah.
Shouts out.
He went to my high school, dude.
Whoa.
I met him at a football game.
That's so lit.
Yeah.
Was he baked?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I was like in 9th grade. I was a sousaphone player in marching band.
So you've been in the game for hella days.
Dude, yeah. Started on a upright bass.
Whoa.
When I was in 6th grade.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was so tiny, and so I just got kind of really lucked out that like I was able to grow into the instrument. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was just trying to play cello, and there were too many cool kids playing cello, and I was like, dang, guess I got to play
Damn,
bass.
so you have a kind of like fancy musical background.
I wouldn't call it fancy, but I definitely like classical music. I played it, and that and jazz growing up. That's like where I got like a lot of my early musical
Nice.
education.
I can hear that in your music now that it's brought. I definitely was hearing some cool like chord changes and like recontextualizing stuff going on in your tunes where I'm like, okay, that's all starting to make sense, you know.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah.
Do you still rip the upright?
You know, I haven't in a long time, but I think if given the chance, I would. I think it's
There's
just
one
such
at my house.
Oh, really?
No one
Dude.
ever plays it.
Yo, call me up, dude.
Let's fucking jam,
I'm
dude.
down. Yeah, it's a cumbersome instrument.
It's
know?
gnarly.
Yeah.
It was left by my friend Tim, who was like, back in the day I played in a band that had an upright bass, and he just like left it at my house permanently.
Oh, dude.
So
yeah, we gotta fire up.
Yeah,
That'll
we
be
gotta
cool.
jam.
Have you played on it? Do you ever play it around?
I love to play Love Cats by The Cure. That's the only song I play on bass ever.
Yeah.
And I will play that when I feel like it's right, but I'm not too good with fretless. I need some heavy auto-tune going on in the equation.
Yeah. I feel it. Yeah, it's super tony.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard, and like the grip and everything. I've been really trying to like get good at piano again, or
Cool.
like for the first time, not again, but
Right on.
even just doing that, I feel like has been taking some serious, like, I was playing like 3 fingers, like T-Rex style, like stretching it, and I was like playing a song with my friend, and he was like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like,
That's raw,
I need to
dude.
learn I need to learn like the actual like foundation of this instrument, and I feel like bass is very much like that too.
For sure. How long you been playing piano for now?
I mean, kind of since like I've been playing like enough to get by for a while, but I've been like trying to really get into it deeper to where I can like kind of play any song I'm working on with anyone and be like, oh, these are the chords, and like just to like get in deeper on like voicings and stuff and be like, you know, I think that's to me what kind of like can lay down a really solid foundation for like a production, is having the insight of like starting there.
Yeah, the voicings are everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, tasty chord will take you so far, dude.
Yeah,
For
so I've been
sure.
trying to get in with that deeper, but I have like a piano and a Rhodes at my studio that I play sometimes,
Sick.
but I usually just do like melodies and stuff, or like little things where I'm trying to get deeper. Just takes practice. It's hard to learn new things.
For sure, man. So
As
what
an
do you
adult.
what was your first instrument?
Guitar.
Yeah.
But I didn't learn guitar till I was like 20,
Oh, really?
where I like was in like more like scrams and hardcore emo shit as a teenager, where I was
Fuck
like
yeah.
just writing like emo poems and like screaming in my friend's basement.
Fuck yeah.
And that eventually I was like, okay, I have to like learn music painfully. So that's kind of that was my primary. How about you? I guess bass, you said, right?
Yeah. I mean, I write most of all my stuff now on guitar, but I've kind of bounced around, you know, like
Yeah.
I started mostly playing like in bands like on electric bass, and then like I eventually switched over to guitar. Honestly, playing a lot of scrams music and stuff too. So like I played a lot of DIY shows in college and in high school,
yeah.
and so that has always stuck with me. I've always kind of like just appreciated the pure like rip that playing a loud ass fucking guitar can give you.
The angst.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you hit a down strum, you hit it twice, you start
Yeah.
chugging, it's done.
Yeah, it's interesting coming from like emo world, and then hitting like getting really into like Big Thief or like Adrian Lenker, or like some people like that are like really restrained and have like, but also can unleash. But like I feel like emo music is all about no restraint, and like they're like, this is like a really intense emotional like visceral feeling, let's like dive into that and like blow it up. Where I feel like learning the restraint that emo music doesn't have has been like such a eye-opening experience in a certain way, where like it's been like really kind of interesting having the reflection of being like really angsty intense music versus like really restrained like intellectual music, like finding a balance in between where it can rip but also have the restraint that makes it for everyone, or like something that anyone would like rather than just a few people or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
A certain type of demographic or energy that people like or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I agree, man. And do you think like when you like I guess approach a song, do you have I guess the motion kind of intact here, or do you kind of wait for it do you search for it while you're writing?
I don't know. It's hard to say, because it kind of goes back into that like discovery mode.
Yeah.
Where like it sometimes takes me a second to figure out the right energy, where I'm like, is this like no capo or capo 2? You know what I mean? Like am I trying to like belt? Is this like a punk vibe, or am I trying to whisper like a riddle into someone's ear? And like at what point is that like gonna fit, or like is that the right energy, the appropriate energy? I think it's hard to find the appropriate energy for music that's not just for you. It's like for other people, where it like might feel good to like scream your face off about something that you're going through, but then to everyone else they're like, ugh. Where it's like maybe you got to find the right balance, because sometimes it is tight to be screaming in people's face, you know.
Yeah,
and
dude.
they want it, you know. So
Do you ever want to bring it back?
dude, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like growing up I was like addicted to Circus Survive, like that band.
Fuck yeah.
And so like feel like there's always this sick and twisted like wanting to just be in some weird emo math rock and like just sing and like headbang and jump around, but it's hard to find that energy at this point in my life.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
How about you?
My neck hurts a lot just thinking about it. You know, man, I kind of like to surprise myself for sure. Like, I don't know how much of myself I always like to reveal. It almost makes me uncomfortable sometimes when I like listen to your own song. You're like, dang, did I do that? Did I say that? Should I have said that?
Shit.
Yeah, and it's like, I kind of like being able to use it just as a way to document parts of my life in like an oblique way, right?
Totally.
You know,
that vulnerability is good though.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's scary, you're probably going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know.
That's a good mantra.
Yeah.
I've been really into like reading this dude called John Kilroy. He's this poet, and he has this book called Torque. That's really good. And there's a poem in there that I took the title from my last EP, World Behind Your Head.
Nice.
And it's just like this super long freeform poem, but that kind of like the crazy looseness of it, almost like the jazz interplay, and the way that like the words kind of just like were on the page, kind of made me think of like how I think Conor Burst, I think he said like, you know, words just by like virtue of being together on like a page or in a song like will just constellate into meaning. Like it does not need to have that connection. And so like I like playing with that form, and it almost like allows me to like look at myself and have a conversation with myself now and then.
Totally.
You know? Yeah.
Do you ever find that you like write a song and you like think you know what it's about, and then later down the line you're like, actually that song I didn't know what it was about, and now I know what it's about, and it was meant for me to hear like now, or something. It's almost like a message subconsciously to yourself, but you almost like didn't know at the time what it was truly about, but sometimes it hits later. It's got that extended release. But I feel like sometimes that happens with like the words, and the meaning of the song can change over time. Yeah, man. I think it kind of goes back into the conversation with yourself. Like, do you think a lot of times when you write a song, you know, do you think about it as like I want this to be like an opener, and like I want this to be a bridge, or I just want this to be like an instrumental thing, or do you kind of like let songs, I don't know, sit for a really long time before kind of bringing them back into the fold for a release? Some songs are just like born and they're like on their feet. I feel like some songs they have to like sit around. Sometimes I have to I'll be working on a song for like a year that's like potentially not good, and then but it's like just for me. I'm like, I have to figure this out, and like then it's good, and it takes some time to like think. It's kind of about like finding like the deep potential. I feel like in anything that you're creating is like when you first hit that thing that it's like, oh, that's something. It's like maybe no one else can see into that deep potential that one thing has, but then but you do, and so you have to like keep fleshing it out. But it's about like finding, the potential of something that you're creating, where it's like kind of just like keep excavating and finding it, where like sometimes the true potential is hit immediately and you're like, oh, this is bomb, cool, done, movie magic. And then other times you're like, nope, it's like, but I know there's something good in there, like what is it? And like that's why like working with other people can be hard, because some people are just like, I don't know, like maybe it's not, just write another song, and you're like, okay, but like there's still something in here, where I feel like you have to kind of, sometimes it takes really excavating in your own world to bring it to that point, Yeah, man. How much of your songs do you think like are personal, like personal, like I guess in a biographical way? I feel like every one of them. Yeah. I feel like every song I usually make songs to kind of process like whatever's going on, even if it's like hell embarrassing or something, I feel like sometimes writing songs is actually really embarrassing, and like recording them and like even playing them live is like sometimes really embarrassing, but it's like in a good way. But like sometimes it is, especially like if like as your catalog like grows and you look back to moments where you're like, am I cringe? Fuck. But it's like cool. But I feel like that's just the like duality of making art, is like your perspective, you're always gonna like know the truth behind it, or where you are at, or like whatever, and it's gonna feel like slightly devastating in that way, or like annoying or something, you know what I mean?
But that's why it hits, right?
Yeah.
There's no more cringe in 2023. It's out.
We're past that.
Yeah,
we're past the
done.
need for cringe.
Cringe is out.
How about you?
I think a lot of it can be, but it really depends, right? If you're kind of looking at it from a first person or third person thing. And sometimes, like, when I'll go into like writing a song, I'll think I just want to remove like all pronouns from this and then revisit like how I'm framing the story. Because
totally.
I studied creative writing in college. Like, my thing is, you know, I really love to read poetry, and I really love to read as much as I can. And I think that has really informed a lot of the ways I look at kind of like tinkering with songs. You know,
totally.
I really like kind of the write, edit, rewrite thing. You know,
totally.
I mean, I do want to become more spontaneous, but I think part of me will always want just like the second word, or like the, you know, a little bit of reflection, looking at it in a different way. Like, even when I'm writing songs, sometimes like I'll write the song in one progression, and then I'll either like capo it or do a different tuning and like cover it. And so that'll give me kind of a different perspective on how like the songs can move and like what chord changes I can use.
Totally.
So yeah, I think it's like, again, just constantly in conversation, you know, with itself before it like becomes. So for you right now, I know you're recording a bunch of songs. When are you gonna play next?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've become like a full like studio, like, I don't know. I really enjoy being in the studio. I feel like I've been finishing a new record that's like very like more rockin' and like bandy, and I feel like I've been wanting to put a band together and do a special show for whenever I release new music, but I kind of just been hiding out in the studio until like something happens and I go on tour again, or like someone is like, yo, open the show for me, and I'm like, okay. Like, someone pulls me out, but I usually like, I have this thing where I say yes to playing shows, and then I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I don't want to play, and like, I don't want to practice, or like, feel like it's hard to go from weird like being a studio person, just not being like a conduit in a room of people, of energy, being in front of people. It's always difficult for me to like shift into being like, okay, I'm gonna like put on real clothes and like not wear Crocs and like be part of like the energy flow of a room, give people back energy, make it happen, instead of just like sitting there with headphones on, like turning knobs on a Space Echo. But I think hopefully soon it'll happen again. How about you?
Sick.
Oh, you're doing the Anxiety Blanket show.
Yeah, shout out Anxiety Blanket Records. Playing the 5-year anniversary. Super stoked about that. Playing here at 2220 on 10/14. But I think we have a show lined up at the Frida on the 2nd of December. So
nice.
Honestly, with my solo stuff, I play as often as I can, but right now just trying to balance like everything in my life with like writing records and like playing. I just finished a couple shows with this other band I play in Spirit Dive.
Oh, nice.
And we just got back. We played in San Jose at this place called Chromatica Coffee.
I think I saw on your IG. Was it like a crazy mosh pit?
It was crazy, dude. These mosh pits are crazy,
dude.
Now.
San Jose turns up,
dude. Yeah, they did. Shout out to the Bay. Yeah, dude, shout out to the Bay. Shout out to Cali Spartan Tacos.
Wow,
they hit so good, dude. I had like 3 quesadilla tacos at like 11 p.m. on Friday.
Damn,
smashed it. Didn't spill at all. Got a tattoo. Left the Bay at 2 a.m. Then got back in LA at like 9.
Damn.
And then played a show again last night.
Wow, so that would have me fucked up.
Yeah, I'm a little tired.
Yeah, that's gnarly, but that's sick.
Yeah, having a good time.
I love going to the Bay. I need to go back.
Yeah, man.
It's been forever.
So you're from the Bay?
Yeah, I'm from the North Bay, like Novato/Petaluma.
Cool. But
I lived in San Francisco for 10 years and went to college there, and like it's very much part of my spirit is SF, but
for sure.
Yeah, LA is kind of lit, so it's nice to be here.
Yeah. How would how would you rate your time, I guess, between LA and SF? What are the biggest differences to you?
Well, it's weird 'cause I was at a much different point in my life then, but I felt like I really miss like taking the bus. I miss like kind of having that time for reflection, and like I would write a lot and like journal and like write songs on the bus and stuff, where LA, I feel like driving is hella stressful, and like it's kind of just it's a different vibe here. I feel like it's not as inspiring as much like just being here as it is in SF, or it was. I'm sure it's like completely different now living there, but I miss like walking around and just seeing people and going out and about and just being like, all right, well, let's like go to a bar and like get drunk and like take the bus home or something, you know, like.
There's a hint of whimsy, I think, with public transportation.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I was carless through like a lot of college, and so like I did take the bus and the train as often as I could, but it was like in Long Beach. Yeah. It always be like a person who would be like, if you got kids, close their eyes and take out their eyeball.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
You know, crazy times.
Eyeball.
Yeah.
Eyeball person.
And that's just, you know, that's just public transportation. But you know, like shout out to the Metro. They've been fucking building that new line. It's sick. I can take like a train now from East LA to Santa Monica.
I know. I keep just like thinking about how there like was a distinct decision to like build freeways instead of public transit in like the 30s here, and it makes me piss forever. But I do like, when I moved here, I was like, I'm gonna take the bus sometimes for sure, and I've literally never taken the bus ever. So
oh man,
I need to try again, but I feel like sometimes it's so hard to even leave my house that like if I was gonna get on a bus, I would be like, I'd be devastated. Yeah. So yeah,
it's a sensory overload for sure.
Yeah,
definitely a lot different from just even like biking somewhere.
Oh,
right?
I love biking.
How much do you bird? Are you a bird guy?
No, I've only birded twice, and both times I was heavily intoxicated, and it's kind of scary for me. I feel like I just feel like I just envision myself just eating shit every time I'm on one.
Yeah, for sure.
But
my life just flashes before my eyes. No, I'm too scared, dude. I'm clumsy.
I love to rollerblade though. That's been
nice.
Like connecting back with my true self since the pandemic is like me and my roommate Kevin were like, just, it was like peak lockdown, and he bought rollerblades, and he bought a size too big, which was my size. So then he was like, I'm just gonna buy another pair and you keep those. Oh, sweet. So like we just started blading together, and I used to like blade a lot when I was a kid, and I was like, damn, this is like my true self. I'm like, dude, I'm a true blader. And so I've been blading more and more, but there was like a time period where him and I would blade every day down the Chandler Trail in Burbank, and like people would like laugh or like get angry.
No, they're jealous, dude.
Yeah, they would see two mulleted, tatted fools skating down the street and be like, there'd be like kids waving to us and stuff, or like I felt like the mayor. But then also sometimes people would like flip us off and stuff. There's something about just being hella ridic that either like triggers people or they respect it.
There's two stallions blazing down the street on Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I miss those days of just blading all the time.
Yo, let's call him up. Let's do some blading, dude.
I know, he's on tour right now.
Oh, shout out, Kev.
Yeah, shout out. But
that's cool. Yeah, I bought, actually kind of coincidentally, I did buy roller skates during the pandemic.
Everyone had to get on some kind of wheels.
You know, I did, and it was really fun. But what I did was like, I think it was during the pandemic was like Mine Kennedy's like first anniversary, and I was gonna surprise her with roller skates, and I was like, wow, I found an awesome deal for like a pair of roller skates for like $42, and they're like her size 8, and I got them, dude, and they were baby roller skates.
So they're off that baby 8, and I didn't know there's like. So what did you do? Did you return them?
No.
You still got them?
I still have them somewhere.
You got to do something with them.
I know. I think, yeah.
Wow.
Put our cats on wheels. That's the move.
That's what's up. Yeah. So did you start actually skating for real?
No. I think I did it like once or twice. Yeah. Just because I was like, man, I'm eating it.
It's honestly crazy. Like, and I've definitely eaten shit in front of people and fallen and been like, or like almost hit a kid that was just stopped in the trail and had to like hella bail off the side and like roll down like a grassy slope. But I feel like it's like the danger makes it worth it, you know?
Yeah, you got to live on the edge. I love that.
Yeah.
Do you wear a helmet?
Nah,
dude.
I'm fully like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like I do when I bike though, you know?
Yeah, you gotta.
Cause it's like you're in like traffic and shit. I feel like I could see my life flash before my eyes way quicker on a bike.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to explore this. So what's it like being a cyclist in LA? I feel like it's scary.
Well, I think it's scary. I also am not like a true cyclist. Like I still like just ride from my house to like the Burbank Trail, which is like, and I'm like wearing Crocs and like weird clothes and stuff. Sure. Like I keep it wacky, but I do love actually just like riding. I think that's like the most important part of like mixing and stuff too, is like going on that bike ride and like listening to whatever you're working on like a few times and like making some notes and then coming back. And same thing, anything, like if you're tripping about anything, going on like a ride like that, I feel like I always like have the answers or whatever I need by the time I get back.
I feel you. That's not like a Brian, oblique stratagem.
It's go
on a bike ride.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's actually so important. I feel like now with like having hella ADD and everyone's like attention span, sometimes just like giving your physical body a full task can allow your mind to like really wrap itself around something.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, I realize I have to be like multitasking. Otherwise, I'm like, I start actually multitasking in my brain instead of like being present or like actually figuring out what I need to do. So
yeah,
I think.
What's the furthest you've ridden?
Once I rode to like Atwater from my house, like down the LA River, but I usually ride from my house in like off Coldwater Canyon in Studio City to like the Burbank Trail, which is like maybe like 20 miles or so, but that's probably the farthest I've gone.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you ride bikes at all?
Not really. I have one just kind of rusting on my balcony.
Dude, come through. We got to go on a bike ride. It's honestly hella fun.
Dude, I'm super down.
Yeah.
Do you have like a way for me to like pump my tires? I think I need a little bit of
yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
I have like a weird abandoned bike zone where like for some reason people keep leaving bikes at my house and I have to like take parts from other bikes or like pump up tires and fix tires.
Dude, I gotta see this bike zone.
It's kind of sketch. It's pretty sketch, honestly. Like a bike graveyard that the artist I've been working with, Odie Lee, for the past month, got an Airbnb like near my house and bought like a bike instead of paying for Ubers every day.
Rad.
And then like the last week of tracking, the bike broke and she just like left it there. So now we have I've got like 4 bikes that are all in miscellaneous condition.
Dude, dirty riding.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I had to look up many YouTube tutorials to like figure out how to like change tires and do all that shit.
That's pretty sick. Or do you consider yourself handy?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When I need to be.
Yeah.
But like I also like have like a tremor in my hand and sometimes it's really frustrating like doing like little tiny things where I'm like starts to drive me crazy, but I feel like I kind of fix whatever I need to just get by to make it happen,
I feel you, dude. I'm the same way. Like with YouTube, anything is possible.
100%.
Yeah, I'm like psyoping myself into liking chores by watching like ASMR like restoration videos. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah,
I can do that. Yeah. Like I'm watching him fully like rebuild this wall. Like
yeah,
I can
scrape
do
that
it.
paint. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually what I've been doing now. Just
Nice.
repainting my bathroom.
Nice. What color are you painting it?
We went whisper white.
Whisper white. That sounds nice.
It was fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A light like neutral color.
That's it. Just a winter refresh, Get some new hand towels in there, some soaps.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How are you preparing for the holiday autumnal season?
I feel like I'm just spiritually preparing right now. I love Halloween. I want to like do something spooky. I've been thinking about it. It's like a full moon on the 28th, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe like some kind of spooky psychedelic camping trip or something.
There you go.
Or like something like that. I don't know, but I do like to celebrate the spooky season.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh man, we got the cinnamon broom right now.
Oh yeah.
Cinnamon osmosis. I need it.
Yeah.
Every day. It's like literally as soon as September 1st hits, it's like
Halloween Town.
We're getting the creamer. It's just a hot vibe in the house right now. Honestly, I'm a big fan of candles. We're just huge candle people, and so we'll just have a candle in every room.
But are you off that like organic like beeswax vibe?
No, I get whatever I can, man. Honestly, like I'm all about
any
just
candle.
Like, I'm like if it's
candle
smells good,
fiend.
I just like candles. Because sometimes like Ken and I will just go and grab them as a gift for each other. But
that's sweet.
Yeah, right now just switching it out for the pumpkin latte, dude. Yeah, I'm all about it. Putting a little bit more cinnamon in my food all the time.
Just a little bit.
Just a little hint.
Yeah.
I'm teasing it.
Yeah, I love candles too. I feel like smell is like the final vibe setting of any like place you're at, But I did see hella like conspiracy videos about how candles like can be really bad for you, and it makes me worried about you, bro.
Wait, okay, hang on.
But
hang on. Where does it start? What happens?
It's like if it's not like beeswax, it like burns in the air and it like leaves stuff in your nose, or I don't know, but it made me hella spooked. I also realized that it just candles. I burn incense too. Yeah. I'm all about that like organic smell, like inspiring smell, and I kind of have gotten spooked lately because how much like smoke and stuff you're like breathing in and weird chemicals.
Yeah, I also smoke every day. So
yeah. I know, same. Yeah. I'm so worried about that, and then I'm like, I don't know. I'm like coconut oil like pulling every night, and then it's like eating hella Sour Patch Kids before. It doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, why does the thought have to happen when I'm like at 4 a.m. and have like no control over any of that right now?
Oh, that's when it always hits. When you're just in bed trying to sleep, and you're like, damn, is everything like, am I like killing myself slowly and by just existing right now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Shout out LA.
Yeah, shout out to fucking GMOs
and smog,
radiation, smog.
We got to get smog tests on our cars. Isn't that ridiculous? They're like, hey, your car can't be killing people too much.
Yeah.
Please get it checked.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rain Gregorio and Derek Ted for joining us this episode. You can find both artists on Instagram at rain.gregorio and at Derek Ted. You can also buy their releases at anxietyblanket.bandcamp.com. This has been Blanket Statements, an Anxiety Blanket Records podcast. It's produced by Jeremy Leisure, Bridie Hicks, and Garrett Labonte. You can follow the label across all social platforms and support their artists on Bandcamp and by seeing them live. Thanks for listening. See ya.